when Abby said when Abby said that we're on chapter 14, but we still haven't even gotten anything like juicy, I was like, I know.
Literally.
They're like stringing us along.
Literally.
They really are. But I do like I said, I like a slow burn. So I don't mind.
Girl, it better be fireworks.
I feel like it's already fireworks with a dialogue. I don't know.
It is.
It is. And like, it's so well done that I like was shocked about things that technically we already knew, because I forgot that I forgot like the little summary, that we read to vote on the book. I forgot about it. And so when they were like, stop writing about me, and he was like, I'll do it when you stop, and I was like, they've been writing to Eva, and then it's like, that's literally in the summary.
Yeah.
But I was shook. I was just like, oh my gosh, like I totally forgot.
No, yeah, I love that part. I was like, I almost want to read their freaking books, 8 and Curse.
I know. Oh my gosh. Wait, let me take this call really quick.
Andre, how was Mexico?
It was fun. I feel like death right now, so.
Oh, are you sick?
Honey, I've got like a fever of 102 degrees.
Andre, are you okay? Like,
wait, what's happening? Is it the vid? What happened?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, once I got back, like yesterday, when I say I could not move, like I had a fever, it was like almost 104 degrees. I couldn't eat. I just was on my couch. I've not moved from my couch.
Oh my God.
Did you drink the water in Mexico?
Well, I mean, I drank the water in the ocean.
Wait, how do you still have a fever?
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
Well, it definitely wasn't intentional.
Yeah. Oh, like you drowned or something?
No,
Yeah.
when the waves come crashing down, sometimes like you can't swim in the water.
Oh, gotcha. I thought the way you described it, just felt like you just were out voluntarily drinking Mexico water. I'm sorry.
Sorry, though.
You
That
need
makes my
anything?
heart sad.
I mean, DoorDash you some soup.
I got some Chipotle. I'm about to make some pasta.
My mom wants to say hi. Hold on. She
Oh,
was like, so hold on, let me turn my
Hi.
hi.
just saying hi.
Just let her know she's gonna be on YouTube.
Yeah, you're gonna be on YouTube. That's recorded. She was like, okay, sorry.
Love it.
Are you sick?
Yeah, Soya, how are you feeling?
I mean,
Because
Andre's sick.
honey, I feel fine. What are you talking about?
You said I did my dues prior to leaving.
Honey.
I'm like worried. 104 is like
Yeah, it's pretty high on it.
almost go to the hospital. Like,
Yeah.
Look, I refuse to pay for another hospital bill, so we're gonna figure it out.
Did you test for COVID?
Mm-hmm.
It was negative.
Yeah, it came back negative. I'm gonna test again tomorrow because it may just be too early. And I've just been isolating myself. I also had a lot of allergic reactions while I was there, and like there's a lot of reasons as to why I can be sick. Dehydration.
Yeah.
Me and
Like-
Sam were out drinking every night.
As you should in Mexico. Hello.
Your body's probably also just like coming down from everything as well.
Very true.
Yeah, different climates and stuff.
That's what happened to me after New York. Like I was feeling perfectly fine. Then on my birthday, it was like, nope.
But
Oh, I remember that.
COVID?
I did get COVID.
Because I did get COVID. So just want to make sure, is everyone here that's supposed to be here?
Yeah.
Right? Because I think Bev, we can start. Andre, or I guess, how are you guys caught up with the book? Just so that, we have an idea. We're going to probably say everything that we read, but like just to kind of get an idea of everyone's.
Yeah.
Well, I've already I'm on. So I didn't mean to read past 14, but I'm on like the last chapter, I'm caught up.
Wait, of the book? The last chapter of the book?
No, not the book.
Oh, I was about to say,
Like where
get
we're
out. We don't want to know.
Right, don't be saying nothing, girl.
literally no. We're not gonna do the whole like first book, you know.
Part two?
But yeah, no, I'm basically caught up. But honey.
I read on the plane, so.
You said
What
what?
chapter are you on, Henri?
Huh? 14.
Are you caught up?
Yeah.
Okay. Dang, you guys like were multitasking. Trip and you wrote the book.
Girl, we had a 2-hour and 55-minute flight.
I had
not
today.
I was always surprised at the flight, like you guys coming back. I'm like, y'all are already back? That's crazy. I feel like you didn't even go to Mexico.
Hey Joe, the stuff. is out of
Anyway,
the-
I feel like we should dive in because I'm ready to dive in.
Me
Yeah,
too.
I know. And
What are
honestly,
we
I apologize
thinking?
for
Dive in. I'm tired of them diving in these damn books
real quick.
and in real life.
Right.
Because low-key, every time I read any of our books, I always try to imagine like, am I this character or could I be this character? And I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like putting yourself in like the main character's shoes.
Yes.
It's almost like when she gets migraines, I start to feel a little like trickling
Yeah.
migraine. Like
Mhm.
my empath.
So should we start with chapter, Bev? Should we start with chapter what, 6? Because like, no,
Yes.
let's start on, I love how this book is broken down because we can start on the days. So can we start
Yes.
with what, Tuesday, right? Is it Tuesday?
That was Monday.
Oh, okay.
Ending.
Let me
Wonder-
just say before we like go in is that this book surprised me because not that I didn't think it was going to be good, but it's a deeper, like, you know what I mean? Like it's deeper than I thought it was going to be. Like I thought it was going to be like, you know, like a sexy book. Like I
Yeah.
didn't know it was going to be, this is like this is like hitting me. Like this is really hitting me.
No,
I'm like, I wasn't prepared.
Yeah. Can I piggyback off of that too, Charlie? Because
yes.
it kind of reminded me back of when we were reading Evelyn Hugo and we're having that whole deep conversation about love. And I was just like, damn, their love is different, but I can't describe what it is. It's like, I don't know, like it's not even like me thinking back to like what kind of relationship they have compared to like the Evelyn Hugo, like all her 7 husbands. I think it was like
Maybe her and Rex. Was it
I don't even know, like
I know
that
what you mean.
she-
I honestly, and just like Charlie, I had the expectation that we're just gonna be scene after scene after scene, no really substance, no really meat, not even like good writing. I wouldn't say good writing. I expected it's a decent amount of writing, but just to be like, oh wow, that was deep and sensual, and I don't even need a sex scene to feel something.
No. Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
100%.
I agree. I definitely agree. I love their banter. I love how like I just love that how it keeps leaving us with so much like wanting more, the tension that you can tell, the chemistry, the sexual tension and everything. But you're right. Like it's definitely not going right
Oh my
into
God.
that.
They're trying to make us like, he's so multifaceted, Shane, that I'm just like, does he actually exist? Because if this man exists, I don't need anything else.
He's
Or is
kind
he-
of gets created by like
Hmm?
in like the female gaze. It sounds like that's how
Yeah,
he's
'cause I'm
created.
just like-
And, okay,
Yeah.
over here like yes.
Like,
Even just like the whisper.
And-
Wait, just when they like first saw each other for the first time and she whispered or he whispered, I can't remember who, but it was a whisper in the ear in public. And I was like, wait, I don't know if I can handle the rest of the whisper. Like, it caught me.
You know what? Let's start with that. Let's start with when he got on stage.
yeah, that's where we started, right?
Yes, that's exactly where you started.
Yes,
And, like,
so
basically
Yeah, so he got on stage. Eva's obviously shocked, and Cece's doing her thing per usual.
Right.
But what are we thinking about that at the moment? All I kept thinking was like, I was thinking about, you know, how have y'all seen Gatsby? You know, when Gatsby and what was her name were finally gonna see each other, and there was just so much tension, and that's how I felt when I was reading that, because they were just so like unspokenness, but there was history. You know what I mean? You know, when he was finally gonna see her,
Yeah, is it Rosie? Rose something?
Rose or something? Yes.
Rose. One of my
I-
favorite.
Oh,
I-
dang.
the way that he
Wait.
wrote this, it could like almost like perfect for like you wouldn't even need like a script. Like the book itself is almost written off like a script itself. So when they're in like the conference room or whatnot, and it's like she's explaining that there's people around, but at the same time, like they're all like they're talking to these people at the same time they're still like looking or making eye contact with each other, and he's pretending to be on the phone. Like I can just like picture that moment.
Yes.
And just like kind of like, you know, her looking
Yeah, like
over
just being
and,
like, Shane.
and I'm like, I wish I was a fly on the fucking
But you
wall.
are.
No.
You are.
But I think
know,
it
right?
definitely like it continuing on to that, I think what's really important was that like when he finally got up there and he was saying like how, because we started to get to know Shane more because they're like, yeah, this guy was horrible in interviews and like he was an alcoholic and like blah blah blah. Gives you like a whole backstory of how that goes. And I'm just like, I always wonder like how do you guys feel, right, when he finally was able to speak and said what he said about her book, because
That's what I was about to bring up.
Oh
Like,
my
especially
God.
How they built it, like she felt like she wasn't able to like she wasn't really taken seriously as an author, and she had this like niche group that followed her, and it was like hard enough to get like a movie deal and stuff. And the fact like that he like not that I mean I don't know, I guess the way I was feeling about her books up until this point was that they're probably not that great.
Right.
And then he spoke about her books, and I was like, where do I add it to my cart? Because
Right. Where do I add it to Goodreads or good?
right. Yeah.
The opposite effect for me though. Like I very much so was like, okay, like these books, they sound good, but I hate that it took another man or someone else to be able to hype her book up
Yeah.
for her. Because then
To
it
bring
just
light
like,
to it.
yeah,
Which is
Like, it
definitely-
almost like kind of plays a role into like how he in a situation is always kind of saving her without even trying to. So she's already here thinking that like, oh, my book is, you know, just this cliche writing and like people are downplaying it and I can't even get a movie deal. And then as soon as he brings up her book and like she started getting like, you know, more sales and like recognition for it. And
Well, I think the
when they
same
kind of go back,
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
well, as in like when they kind of go back into like when they're younger, it's like without even realizing it, he was like picking her up from situations and like taking her away and saving her from, you know, these situations. I don't know, like kind of always playing like rescuing her from these certain situations without even trying.
I almost want to say that like it wouldn't have I get that comment because I definitely I'm like, why did it take him to just swoop in and like save the day? Now it's like Shane looks like some like badass, right? And you know, and so my thought was like, I think because he spoke it in a way of like he already knew her so well, that's why he was able to make it sound so good. Because let's say he was just like some guy he dated she in high school, but this guy Shane, there's like more to it, which is like why he explained it. Because remember, he's very intuitive. If like while we read his book or while we read about him, we learn that he's very much, you know, intuitive with people. He knows how to empathize really well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think because he knows her so well, he was able to kind of like regurgitate her story and make people see it with actually intimate eyes. When people were like, oh, I thought it was about this. And he's like, no, it's actually about this because I know this girl, I know how she writes. And I'm like, you slick mother, but you're not a
Well,
doctor.
and it's literally their responses to each other. So he knows exactly what's happening in her book because it's literally about him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And another thing that I really like about this, I like that y'all brought that up because it almost does seem like he's rescuing her, right? Like especially if you're looking on the outside, but because we get to hear their thoughts,
Mhm.
we know that actually like he hangs on like every word she says and like he worships the ground that she walks on. So it's like we're getting this inner, like it does look like he's rescuing her, like he's the famous like writer that's like such a good writer, whatever, but like he in his mind she's everything, like she is like I mean the way that I know we're not there yet, but talking about whenever they were kids, talking about that one curl, or maybe it wasn't when they were kids, but that one curl, I was like,
I know where she put her glasses up, but then the one
Wait, that was older. That's when they were older and they're walking.
that's when they're okay.
Yeah, but there was, I think, there might have been other, you know, gazes that he had of her,
Mhm.
yeah, that were really.
Yeah.
Even to piggyback off of what she said, when he's describing, because the book is about them, and when he's describing it, he says that the two characters, the girl will survive without the man.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, to us, it seems like he's saving her, but clearly in the book, like,
Right, it's the other way
I
around.
can do bad all by myself.
Yeah,
Right.
no, I noticed that too when they were talking about it, I think in the diner after the meeting, and they're like, she's like invited him or whatever. And that's when like she stormed out. But during that conversation, it was how infatuated he was with her. But she was not giving him the time of day. She was like, he was just like, hold
Older,
on,
new, like young or old?
older.
Okay.
So they're in the diner.
You know,
It's like the next
when they
chapter.
first,
But like
saw
they-
each other like when they're younger.
Hmm?
Can you talk about like the first scene of when they first like met in high
Yeah.
school?
Like, yeah, because I was like, guys, there's some to me.
Let's- a lot
get to that one
to talk
first.
about.
Let's get to that one first. You're right, because that was really next. Because that's what I'm fucking reading right now. So I was like, oh my God. Dude. So like, okay, because so
Yeah,
on the little podiums, right? From school.
bleachers.
Speaker, the things, and like I kind of, it was very interesting.
Can I are you talking about like the speaker up there and when they're talking or whatever?
No, I'm talking about when they first, like when they were younger.
The
So,
bleachers.
I have one thing to say before we move on to because the panel, there was a lot of things that he said that was really like highlights, which one part was saying, she goes, you're writing, you're exploring the female angst. He goes, I don't think I'm exploring the female angst. I'm just writing a character who has angst. So like, you really understand, like, he's not, I don't know. He's got a way of like explaining what he's doing is in like, why are you making it about women or men? I'm just making it about humans. I think he really cares about the perception of a human, which is so different for a Black man to be talking in such a ambiguous way when it comes to like emotions and feelings versus being like, oh, Black female women. Like, it's not binary, the way he explains things. So like when he was saying like, I'm exploring female angst, you're exploring it. He goes, no, I'm writing about a character who happens to have angst. I don't know. I almost like, I was like, want to read his book because I'm like, you just give off these vibes that you just, would write a good novel.
You know what? I'm gonna piggyback off of what you just said, Cindy, because I even wrote I wrote sticky points on those because a woman did ask, she was like, do you feel like, why do you get to feel like you can write in a girl's perspective?
Right.
And I kind of was thinking the same thing. I was like, that's true. Like, especially in this day and age, you're not a woman. You do not know what we go through on a day-to-day basis. So how do you feel qualified, like she said, enough to write? And then I wrote in here, I was like, do we agree? Like, do we think that how she said, like, women didn't get to just do, because he was like, I'm just doing it.
Women
Do we
don't get to be bad boys or like,
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
Girl.
Do we think that that's changed a little bit, or do we think it still applies, but maybe it's starting to change?
I like that quote. I support women's rights and also support women's wrongs. So like the whole women don't get to be bad boys. I think we're heading towards a place where women can now have this like nonchalant, but we there's a lot more to go. Obviously, yeah, I think there's still room for improvement on that department. If I can
For sure. I agree. But I do think that the generation now, like Generation Z, we're becoming more ambiguous with the idea of, yes, like women are getting accountable the same as for men. At the same time, it's like the other way around. So it's like, when women accuse men of rape and they didn't do it, they go to jail too. And like, and then if women want to become, the vice president, they will. We have Kamala Harris, and we already see these women, badass women, and they don't have to. I mean, there's always going to be a standard though, regardless. There's always going to be a standard. But at the end of the day, it really depends upon who's really judging.
Yeah. Did you guys read that quote that says, oh, sorry, Charlie, go ahead.
Well, I just was gonna say something. I keep muting because I'm chewing, and like I have a thing hearing people chew, so I don't want y'all to hear me chew. So anyway, but I just wanted to make a comment about that part because like the quote that I think y'all said it. They said it's a ballsy move as a man to explore young female angst, and he says, or no, sorry. Right before that, he says, I guess I don't think a lot about whether or not I'm qualified to do things. I just do them. That did like, I had like a jerk like reaction to that because I was
Yes.
like, okay, like
Okay.
like, I guess I just think about like, okay, like it annoyed, and I love Shane. Okay, like love him as a character,
Girl,
but
me too.
that made me really annoyed because I'm like, okay, but you're writing about this from this perspective that doesn't get to do that, like doesn't get to just like not think about things, like, and I guess it made me think about like, I don't remember what it was. I think it was like a women and gender studies class that I took where it was like these studies that have been done that like men will like apply to jobs even if they are like
Not
super
qualified.
underqualified,
Mhm.
but women will feel like they're unqualified when they are 100% qualified and
Yeah.
not apply for a
Mhm.
job. And so it made me think of that because it's like that's just one example, but like I feel that, and I feel like I've seen so many instances of it, so it really like
It was,
irked me. Yeah, when I read that, and I'm like, okay,
Right.
but I do love him, and that just that bothered me.
and I think that's his privilege, right? That he's not even able to recognize the gravity of what he just said, just nonchalantly. Like, no, we don't get to
Yes.
see
Yeah.
that. But you,
Yeah.
I agree with Charlie too. I kind of, when I read it, I was like, I literally made that face, and Jordan was like, why did you make, I said, because he just said a comment that I feel like you don't get it. You don't get to just say that like that because we are still struggling to have our own women's rights. And you're over here like, well, I just do what I want to do.
Right.
Kind of interesting because him being a black man, it's like you don't have that white privilege.
Right.
Mhm.
Although
Mhm.
you put on this front or facade that you do.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then even to piggyback off of that, like what the guy was saying, I cannot remember his name, the fucking misogynist.
Khalil?
Yes, Khalil. It was like he was kind of like his anti-protagonist.
Yeah, antagonist. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
I'm
true.
Mm.
T, there was a
It's
lot.
like showing us so many perspectives at once, like in that one moment, like
Yeah, right. In the whole panel, I feel like they were all talking at the same. That's what they were right. Like they were all sitting and talking.
Yep.
Like that.
yeah.
Just kind of pictured like The View.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, can I piggyback off what Honor said too? Because you said like Shane still doesn't face like there's that last part, that one guy from my one editor, he said it's on page 69 if you have the book, but he was like, can you detail some of the explicit racisms you face as Black authors, Shane? And he said, me, nope. And I was just like, interesting.
Yeah.
So you're really able to do whatever you want. You're able to write whatever you want to write. People still buy it. You're having big money. But when it comes to Eva, she's literally slaving away social media, mentoring, doing all that just so she can have at least a voice in
Mhm.
society. And it's really crazy to me because I'm also even taking this outside of the book, but in reality, I saw like a Twitter post on like Marvel's new show from that one main character. She's like,
Oh yeah, not a lot of people watching it.
yeah, not a lot of people are watching it because she's main character. She's like person of color, and she's having to like advertise it. And I'm like, wow. But all these other ones with all these men, regardless of color, they watch it. So I was just like,
It's also
biggest
just not
thing
good.
to I think the biggest thing to point out though is that he did all this when he was drunk. So I don't think like everyone and he's having trouble now because he's sober because I don't know what to write. And now he's really thinking about if he's qualified to even write things that he writes now that he's sober.
Well, that's
So
why I
him-
think I like his multifaceted personality. It's almost like he's having to apologize for an old version of himself that he's now,
Yeah,
like he's like, I really don't know. I just did it.
exactly. So it's like when he's writing in these point of views and people are like saying, well, who makes you feel like you're qualified, or who are you to be qualified to write these things? Like, well, I mean, at that point he was like drunk. He's just writing them to write, like he didn't really think of his qualifications.
I would say on that chapter 6, page 61. I don't know if you guys have the same. It goes, girls are given the weight of the world, but nowhere to put it down. Really well written.
girl,
The power and magic born in that struggle. It's so terrifying to men that we invented reasons to burn y'all at the stake just to keep our dicks hard. I was like,
Yeah.
Honey.
a freaking line that was.
Honey.
It almost like, oh my God, Charlie, have you seen Fleabag?
No, but somebody told me I would like it.
You would love it. If you watch that
Is it on Netflix?
Prime, Amazon Prime.
Oh,
She
Prime,
said something
okay.
very similar where like women give birth, they have periods, they feel pain internally. Therefore, they don't not see it externally. Men don't have that. That's why they create wars to feel something where we have pain. It was like, oh my God, that was like so beautiful.
Oh, that sounds good. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
I feel like when he said that, it really struck it like, because I tell my friends that all the time. I'm like, y'all, if I were a woman, if I hear me loud, the world would be over. The power, no, like the power of a woman is so strong. And I feel like if every woman understood the power that they had, men, who are they?
Literally.
No.
Oh, love that. Thank you for saying that.
Amen.
No, but literally,
Oh
it's
my
like-
goodness. Okay, yeah, Bev, wherever you want to go, because I think I like chapter 6, that intro, there was so much
There
that
was.
discussed there.
So then we go into, they end with, let's meet up. So I think it doesn't meet up with, I think it goes back to them in high school. So now it goes back to them in high school. Let's talk about the bleachers. So they first meet. So she was just trying to make a friend and she sought this guy out. First of all, I didn't even think, I just thought he was a drunk. But then as the chapters went on, I was like, oh, so you were a druggie and a drunk?
Yeah, druggie and a drunk who likes to read. What a weird.
Right. I was like, that doesn't correlate ever in these.
I'm not gonna lie to you, they were like fucking weirdos.
They were.
They were
They
weird.
messed up, guys. Like they were like real.
They're
bad,
pretty
bad
weird.
ones.
And
Are we just gonna skip the part when he told them?
and whilst I'm saying this,
Where he
like,
was?
he broke his arm.
Meryl, you're
Girl, get closer to your mic.
yeah, or
Every
something.
time he broke his
Girl.
arm. Why was he doing that again?
I
No,
think
wait, Andre, what did you say that you said something? Did we skip over something?
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, like, are we gonna skip over the part where they told each other to stop writing about them? Because that did happen.
Oh,
Yeah, I did.
that's so back.
That did happen before they met up.
Indeed, we did.
That tension right there when he was like, stop writing me, you stop writing. I was just like, okay, you guys gotta stop. This tension is too much.
I need some condoms, those comments.
Yes.
Yes.
And also, I was thinking about it. I was like, if they would have stopped it, if like either one of the women, like, yeah, stop right there. But then it's that the fact that they said, and stop writing about me. I was like, this is where the book is gonna start. I'm like,
I know.
that's the book starts.
Mhm. That's where the tension lies. Like, even
And she
though-
was so descriptive. Like when she said it, she like whispered her lips by his jawline, and then it like got really descriptive. It was like she saw him flinch, the slow, satisfied curl of his lip, his bronzy amber eyes. Like, I mean, like it got so, and then it says, and both a low and raspy voice. And I was like, all right, this is just a whisper. Like, it's not.
This is just a whisper, and we're getting all of this. Yes. Oh my God, that was a good moment.
That was a good call out, Andre. Yes, that part
Yeah.
definitely introduced us to like, okay, we're getting to the nitty gritty.
Mhm.
Right.
Like, where is this coming from?
So then, yeah, bleacher moment. I honestly feel like I learned a little bit more, and I love that about this writer. I thought I knew Eva 2004 in chapters like I think between 1 through 5, like how maybe she was behind closed doors and now who she was now. But her interaction with Shane, when we get into that now, I'm learning more about her. Like she's got this like dark side.
Mhm.
Like, it's like very like mysterious, almost like I can't put my finger on it, but you're quirky as hell. Like what's your deal, you know? And so
Yeah, like she teeter-totters between introvert and extrovert too.
yeah. So it's just kind of interesting. What are y'all thoughts about their first interaction and like her peach scenario? And I don't know.
Ooh, the peach.
I think it's the knife action. It was giving a lot of like what's it called, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, where she's just like, I don't know, like little like orange sip, like those little innuendos that are like,
That's how you eat a peach, or he goes, that's how you eat a
right.
peach.
And he's like, no, you're dangerous. I can't. I was like,
Oh no, the beginning, he goes, yo, Genevieve. And he goes, he's like, just like thrown out by it. And she goes, oh, you're just rude. He goes, oui.
Yes.
Literally, oh yeah, I see it right now. He was like, I'm Genevieve Mercier. He's like, he frowned at her. He said it's French. He gave her a look like, no shit.
Yeah.
Is it cool that I'm sitting here? No. Are you an asshole? Oui. I was like, oh.
That was one of my favorite, like, young,
Okay.
like, dialogue for them.
I was like, for a young soul, that man got some. I was gonna clap back. I was like, okay, period. But it was very interesting though. Afterwards, when she started getting her headache and she was like rubbing her temples, he was very. I was shocked of his reaction. I really was, because
Didn't he give her like sunglasses? Okay,
sunglasses.
We're jumping.
Pretending not to care and then caring.
Right.
He like pulled out his shades,
Hey.
said like she's sunglasses or whatever, her headaches.
Yeah. Like he was asking like, yo, you good? And she was like, no, I get headaches and stuff. And that's when he pulled out his sunglasses, which I was like, interesting enough. Like we're getting, because you're thinking like he's like a thug. And then all of a sudden, I mean, like look, he is, but like he has a heart,
In that moment too, I was just like, I love a man that listens. Like if I'm like, I'm hungry, oh, you come up with some food. She said, I get headaches. He automatically was like, and I was like, ooh, I was like, ding ding, that's a good flag from a guy. He listens and he acts on his emotion.
Do we think it's one of those situations like misery loves company? Like, because he didn't really realize how much he was interested in her until he kind of saw her scars and like saw that, like she was kind of had like the headaches and stuff. That's when he kind of paid more attention to her. Like, oh, there's more to her than just this bubbly little girl that wants a friend.
Well, I think it wasn't like misery loves company, but more of like he saw himself in her, and finally,
Gotcha.
like finally someone he could relate to and who could relate to him, because what I thought the author did such a good job doing in that bleachers scene was the fact that like y'all were saying like these like witty remarks and like the little jokes and like the peach scene, but then in the midst of that was like this, you're picking up and like I guess you're picking up on like this severe trauma that both of these children go through. And it's like, it's severe. I mean, the fact that he breaks his arm over and over again is a very like shocking, thing to write. But then she's weaving in witty remarks and like jokes and I thought that was so well done. And I feel like that would probably, like, I feel like that would be really hard to do as a writer, to like write something that, I mean, to me, I was just like, oh my God, like he's breaking his arm. Over and over again. And like you could just kind of tell, like, I don't remember the specifics, but like I don't know if it like went into it, but you could tell like he's been through a lot before they go, get into it further. And I just thought it was really like well done. But I do think it's because they like he like saw her as someone like he could relate to and reminded him like, because like it sounds like the other kids are like from that scene, like ew, like insane.
Like I know what you mean, because I think she even asked, like, she goes, why do you do that? And he didn't have like, and he didn't really give her an answer. It's almost like we're getting all this stuff, but we're not really understanding the psychosis. I don't think we know the psychosis till now of why they really did what they did, which I love that she's keeping the reader on the outs with that, because there's so much back there. And you're right, because and like as readers, right, we looked at like the witty banter. I did kind of pick up on like, I was like, that's kind of insane that you are like breaking your arm, but like it's almost like laughing through the pain kind of situation that I found beautiful. It's very it was a multifaceted scene. You could pick up so much from that.
And it's kind of, and it's like real, it's like feels real, because in a real situation, I mean, obviously didn't have like that going on that he had, but like if I'm talking about to someone about like my problems, like a lot of times I'm like cracking jokes. I'm not like sitting like and so I feel like kids who have gone through this and are going through this type of stuff, they're not going to just sit together and cry together. This is how they would actually
Yeah.
speak to each other. And I just feel like, I don't know, I just thought it was so good.
No, it was really good. Yeah, they would say it in a joking manner, but you're like, dang, you just dropped the bomb there. But like, we'll unpack that later.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
That's actually very interesting. That did cross my mind, and I'm glad you said that because I was like, yeah. 'Cause I felt while I was reading it, I felt very like uneasy reading what they were saying. But at the same time, I was able to like crack like a little like chuckle, but I was still like, ugh.
You're like, huh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
He goes, nah, man, you gotta go. You're trouble. I was like, dead.
And he's like, you're the size of a Jolly Rancher. And she's like, I have a Napoleon complex. He's like, girls can't have that. And she was like, okay, feminist.
Okay,
Yes.
Right.
Oh yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
you were
I love
feminist
that.
or whatever. That was good.
Like, honey. Okay, but then are we not even gonna? So then, last but not least, that one move he pulled at the end before they fucking left, like he like pulled her arm from the back and was like,
Oh,
"Don't try it." I was like,
oh,
Oh
Are you talking about-
yeah.
are
When
you
they were young, I was like,
talking about
after
after
the hospital. I was like,
No, this was before they went
Before the
to
hospital.
This
before
is
they get to
before
the-
everything happened. Get this. It's like the last couple pages. She's like eating the peach, right? And then something happened and she provoked him. And like he's like, leaning into it.
So she said,
Like-
stop looking at me like your dick's in my mouth. And then
Yes.
watching.
Sure did.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Grabbed her arm, wrapped around her thing. Said something. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what he said.
I
though.
literally have it here. It was because she goes, "Don't call yourself a freak." Hold on.
yeah, you like me now? Think you're original. Boys love to torture the weird girl, the freak. But guess what? I'm already in pieces. So, and then that's when he grabs her.
And then after he said his name, he's like, "Yeah, my name is Shane." And then he left. I was like,
Woo!
"Oh shit."
I just like,
Honey.
Is it just
Right.
like every time you guys read something or in parts like that, are you just not like, oh, wow. Just giving you like sighs. I'm sighing so much throughout this book and I'm like, geez, okay.
Yeah.
And so it follows through, then she goes into a classroom. Yes. And so she's the new student, I guess, apparently.
Yeah.
And I didn't catch that she was, but so she's a new student. Shane's obviously in the very back of the group photo. And first of all, apple bottom jeans, girl. Ooh, she got on my last nerve.
Name.
She absolutely.
trailer
I don't
trash.
like her.
That's like one of the worst bullying things I feel like any bully can do is cut someone's hair. I feel like
Dang, dude.
Girl,
it's like so
and
traumatic.
a Black woman's hair. Do you know how long it takes for us to even grow that shit? So to be honest with you, for me, I felt like I got cut. Like I was like,
I was like, what? She's gonna die today.
yeah,
Literally grab that
It's
fucking
not on the
scissors
plane. I
and-
was like,
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
It was this scene. This bitch thinks she's Aaliyah. I was like, Aaliyah? I was like, because she got half a cup of hair.
Oh yeah. Got the hair. Oh my gosh. Okay, can we talk
Sorry,
about
I'm
this?
ready.
We've got chapters to hit on. Shane just letting himself get hit. He's cutting himself in another way. And that's how he's doing it.
very true.
Oh, he's trying to
Guess
pretend
what?
like
I'm
her-
glad you brought that up. Mhm.
Okay. Because I was like, okay, Shane, I thought you were gonna fight. Why are we letting ourselves get rocked?
But it's interesting enough because he didn't have to help her, but he still did.
Yeah.
They just met.
Y'all, but in that moment, I also saw the toxicity in their relationship. That
Yeah.
It's
It was
not-
bad.
to me, I was just like, ooh, this is back in high school when you're like, this is the bad boy and he gets in trouble with all the drugs and stuff, but you don't care because you're in high school. And I was just like, him hurting himself and her having to be like, stop, Shane. I was just like, that's not an attractive thing to me. It's more scary, but hey, to each their own.
I find it interesting that they're doing like troubled and troubled matched together versus the whole typical good girl meets a bad boy or like vice
Yeah.
versa type shit. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
it's original that they kind of went that route. But that's when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, he's toxic as hell.
I feel like it evens the playing field though. Instead of one person saving the other, it's like they're both saving each other.
Yeah.
But have y'all realized that y'all are reading a book?
Like
Like-
we're reading her book right now.
Wait, you think?
Wait.
Because
Wait,
they had to stop writing about each other. So this is literally cursed. This is her book.
Is this?
I
Is
don't think so.
do you think this is the book that she's been wanting, the 15th book? Is that what you're saying?
No, like I feel like this, like cursed is about her past with him.
Oh, it is. It is.
oh
It is.
yeah, it is.
Like y'all have been saying that y'all want to read it, but y'all don't even realize
It's
that.
basically like the book. Basically, yeah.
Oh,
Well,
that's
isn't
right.
it's got like some mythical stuff to it? We're just reading in a different form, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. We are. Yeah.
Probably confused me so bad. I was like,
Okay. Picking up on that. That paper is really
She was saying that like every time like he broke his arm, like he had a realization of something about himself, and like this part right here where he broke his arm again was because he's like, oh, I would literally fight somebody for this girl. That means like I really care about her. But it's like every time he broke his arm, he would have a realization of something about himself.
yeah.
And I'm like,
It sucks.
can
that
you not just
pain-
think through it?
Yeah, it sucks that pain is what is having him.
What allows him to process his like
Yes.
feelings and emotions.
Mhm.
crazy.
But and
So-
yeah, sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, so I guess now that we're talking about this, Bev, you bring up a really good point because I think that is a very, I mean, we haven't seen too much of their time together when they were young, but so far it is like kind of a toxic situation. And I kind of wonder now they've gotten a lot of help. I think they're doing like pretty great. I mean, he's been sober for I think 2 years, and which is I think a long time. And I almost wonder, like, there's obviously like some chemistry, a lot of chemistry between them, but I almost wonder if like, I guess when we were coming into this, I was like, it's going to be a happy ending. They're going to end up together. But now this is making me think, is it possible for them to actually be together in a healthy relationship, or will they revert back to their
old ways.
unhealthy, like toxic ways because they're back? You know what I mean? Like, I
Do
feel
they
like that's
only know each other in toxic ways? Do they know how to behave with each other in a non-toxic
When
form?
they're both
And will the
sober.
love still be
yeah.
the same and intense because they like
Right.
it was intense?
It's actually
Well,
interesting.
Right.
they
to hear
did
that.
start mentioning that, like, let's find something dangerous, or like
what I
within
guess.
our
I'm like,
dangerous.
See, that's what made me think like,
But, like,
ooh, this
within our
relationship is
version
not
of
gonna work.
dangerous, and they went to get ice cream and stuff. You know?
yeah, which was really cute. So
Yeah.
I
he's
thought that
saying
was
like,
cute.
I'll let you know, right? He said, I'll let you know. Are you gonna stay, you're sober? Is it good? She goes, well, are you gonna continue? I'll let you know. I was like, whoa, are you gonna have a relapse with her? What's gonna happen?
It's honey.
Yeah, PTSD.
Yeah, it just seems like they're not good for each other.
I think
They're
I know
just
what the
not
next
good.
vice is gonna be, but
Yeah, do you think they're foreshadowing him like relapsing? I mean, what is she gonna start cutting herself? Like, what's
no,
what
I
would
think
her
I know
be?
what the next.
Well, it also could be that they had these horrible traumatic childhoods. They were able to find like someone to relate to within each other and like comfort and like love, like I'm saying in quotes because it's like the best they could do in that moment. Something horrible happened, which I'm like really want to know.
Yeah.
But they go their separate ways for like literally years. Like how long has it been? Like 13 years or something?
It's
13
15.
years?
15, yeah.
15 years. So they go their separate ways for 15 years. They do the work of getting better separately. She obviously has some stuff because she's hiding a lot of stuff like from her daughter, but like I think overall she's like gotten a lot, like, I think we can look at her daughter and tell she's gotten a lot better. Like she's way more stable now and stuff because like her daughter is so cute. Like I love, like her daughter is like very secure in herself, and so that you can see she comes from like a good home because her daughter's like so, confident and sure of herself.
Mhm.
Shane is like sober now and he's doing all this great work with like tutoring and teaching and whatever. because they were able to be separate for so long and work on themselves like independently, maybe they can actually, I don't know, I'm just thinking like out loud, like versus if they would have like never been separate.
You think they can relate now on the idea of like, okay, we've gone past this, now we can be each other's like vices in a way, because they're like looking for a crutch, a vice.
They
Both of
are.
them, I feel like. Well, I know Shane is. He's mentioned a couple times where he wants to escape from the soberism a little bit. And I think
Yeah.
she kind of gives him a sense of like, she gets him in a trance.
Yeah,
And I think his
intoxication.
vice could potentially be her in a positive way now, where that's his vodka, is him, you know, just inhaling all of her like evenness. Because the way he talks about her, it's like he's
She like doing her outline.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I think, you know?
Uh-huh.
So you could be onto something. I guess when we first kind of were reading it, we were thinking, oh, happy-go-lucky. But I think the more I'm reading the writing, she could flip the script on us. Just because of how dark these stories have kind of been, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You really could flip
And-
the script to the point to where he becomes her stalker.
Wait, you could though, because those texts, he kept texting her.
Like,
I mean, think about it. If
I
you're
did that
saying,
on a reg.
well, no, because I mean, if you really
Yeah.
think about it, the way that you're saying she becomes his vodka, he's an addict. So he could
Yeah.
want her so much to the point to where it's like,
it's-
be with me or else, you know?
Oof. Well,
Did the way he
Dang.
accepted the job, the teacher job, he's like, yeah, I'll do it. I was like, you don't even know that. What happened to your kids back at home? Like, what?
Can we talk about the relationship with him and Ty?
I was gonna say Ty.
Yeah.
I
Ty.
really loved that like text between, he was like, you should ask the girl, and he was like, definitely don't say, are you lactose intolerant?
Yeah.
I love that though, because like, babes, you always gotta ask.
Oh my
Because
God.
you're like, I have that.
Honey, I'll get sorbet, but you know, that conversation was funny because the way Ty responded was very like Gen Z-esque. I was like, that's
Well,
hilarious.
even the fact that
Very.
he's doing it, you know, he's like, he probably he won't even do it. And he goes, I like and I was like, what? It's just so random, you know?
Yeah.
And like he asked him something and it was silence and he was like, hello.
you
And he was
shrugging?
like, I'm shrugging. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
I
like,
thought that was
I was
cute.
like, Ty. I need you to be like,
You gotta give me something. We're on the phone.
yeah, and just him saying like you really can't control it. Honestly, he described falling in love in a really good way, because you're like, yeah, it just hits you. It's not like you can't control that shit. Like you just
At
don't
all.
have a choice.
He's
Of
just, I'm
course,
not trying to get
guys,
shot.
good chapter.
Yes, he's like, I'm not trying to get shot. I was like,
Yeah, he goes, I'm
bet.
not trying to get shot. He goes, oh my God. The dialogue between them is funny, but I think it kind of shows like the opposite of like her and her daughter, and then Ty and him. It's like he can be a father. They could actually work out because of how good he is with Ty and
Mhm.
kids, you know?
Yeah.
So I love that. As a side note, but I love how we kind of got a little bit of idea of like who Shane is like as a younger boy. When he goes, I just feel bad for snakes. They just like, you know, they're just slithering and they have no legs. And so I realized I was drawing a lizard when I wanted to put legs on. Like he has so much empathy, and I think he
Yeah.
hides it with all of these like things. He's a softie inside. That's why I love him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is definitely written by
I
the female case.
Y'all
See,
would
he's-
really love the book Bruiser.
Honey. Oh my God, that book made me cry.
Same.
Wait, I'm gonna add it to my list.
Bruiser.
It's one of those like young, no, it's not. It's like, it's so cute. It's such a good book.
It's an older book. It's really cute. I
Is
had to
this
read
it?
it for like my summer reading.
Yes.
Yes.
But,
Yes.
okay.
Ooh, that book had me in tears.
Tears.
Mexico.
Oh,
Nice. When she was talking with her friends, and he goes, "What's his sign?" Meryl, I'm surprised you didn't mention.
March
it.
13th. Oh, I see.
He's like, yeah,
Get your
Meryl.
guy, girl. Get your
He
guy.
goes, run.
What's his sign?
I'm
He's an Aries.
literally- I was like, why am I this?
She goes, "The thoughts of zodiacs." I was like,
Pause. I thought March 13th was Pisces.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so she got it wrong on purpose. So it'd be like, oh my God, look. Okay.
No,
Wait,
well, she
Cindy,
said
are you
it
talking
said it was
about when-
June.
with her friends when she's having like lunch with
And
them.
the girl talking to
Yeah.
like, tell us the tea.
She's like the thoughts of the zodiac.
Yes, I loved it.
Dude, yeah. I think it was very interesting though, but you get to know that even Genevieve or Eva is like, she also has that mysterious side of her that not a lot of people, even her friends don't know from New York.
Yeah.
And they're wanting to know more about her. And I feel like that's you see like she's grown, like, because she's not going to be like, oh yeah, like I had this, I was an addict, blah, blah, blah. She's like, nah, dude, like that was my old life. And I think like being in her shoes, I don't know how I would be able to do that. I don't know.
She
'Cause, like,
gets
I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see like how much he knew about her, because we're looking at this now. He's asking her like, you never really told me about your mom. And I was like, that whole time
Yeah.
your mom was never mentioned?
right.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Yeah. 'Cause
Well,
it's
I
just
think
like-
together they numbed. They didn't really like experience the hardships of their lives together. Together they were numbing themselves. So he-
Right.
Is it 7 days? The 7 days of when they were in high school together?
It's both, I think. I think it's
Yeah.
7 days in high school, and because they said a week when they were seniors in high school. And now I think I think it's a week now, because I think we had decided that last time, because it's like the parts are like days. So it's
Mhm.
like 7 days, 15 years apart.
Oof, dear.
And I don't, maybe like the 7 days now will turn into forever. I don't know. Like, that's
Oh
what
my
I'm-
Who
God.
I
takes the
don't
job?
I wanted to talk about also, I liked how they went into her history, how she was talking about like Lisette and then her mom, and how like the grandmother was a murderer.
Yes.
I was just like, wait a minute, this family of women, the
Patriarchy here. I
Is-
love how you
is
said that too.
yes, I was like, this is insane. And then when Shane said, you need to write that, I was like, duh, why has she not
Yeah.
written a book about
Right.
her life?
like regardless if her daughter doesn't believe this or that, it's like it's still something. And at the end,
Yes.
it's like tell your dog the truth because that's all she wants.
And Charlie, this is what I was gonna say, because you mentioned like, I think, you were saying like, oh, you can tell that she's not cutting herself, obviously, like she's grown from it. And I think yes and no. I think she's shielded her daughter and she shielded herself, because like she said in the book, like the chapter, she was like, I don't know what was happening, but she was like, I don't want to bring those emotions up. I don't want to. And I'm like, well, someone who has coped with it and gotten help, like, you're not going to lie to your daughter. You're just going to be like, look, it was shitty and this is how it was. And, this is what we're
Yeah.
going to do now. So
Yeah.
I don't
Like the fact that she's hiding it is
Yes.
like, yeah.
Yes. So I don't think at the end they're going to end up together, because I feel like she's still in it. And now he's just picked up this other addiction, which is running. So
Yeah.
they both still have it. And
They
I think
have,
they
but
just
sometimes-
suppressed it. They
Yeah.
just
Also,
suppressed
to piggyback off of that, she's not cutting herself. She's using the band method.
Now she's using the band method.
Yes, that's a good
Yeah.
point. I forgot about that.
At the panel when she snapped the band and he saw it.
Yes.
You're right.
Literally another form of
Mhm.
it. Yeah.
Yep. I forgot about that.
I have to do to stop biting my nails.
Oh wow.
So my favorite scene, like just so far from the book, has been when they're at the coffee shop and they had that small dialogue about talking about like actors. And there's a specific part, like when she says, like basically like acting sober is an art. And then she goes, I read somewhere, started Eva, that on movie sets, actors, spin around in circles before shooting drunk scenes. And
Yeah.
it's like, when I read that scene, I immediately pictured them at the coffee shop, like just having this small dialogue where they're just talking about like peas and carrots, like how these actors are,
Peas and carrots.
yeah, like, like a prime movie where it's just like one of those like very calm or like a, just very
Yeah.
artsy
They
movies.
paint the
I
picture
just
really well.
loved, yeah, the dialogue in there was just so good. And I was just kind of like reading and I was like, I want to see this kind of
Yeah.
movie. I'm over reading this. I need to see
Yes.
it.
This make it into a
Sorry.
movie.
It was just so
It was
innocent
intimate,
and
too.
it was so intimate. It was really good.
Or a TV show.
Agreed.
or show, yes.
Yeah, because I'm in a good sense.
Okay, let's talk about, because I know we're getting close to time. So he takes her, okay, they get into the fight, they're in the hospital, they get out of it, but he took her to this one house where, remember, and we find out, and I was just like, oh, so he mentioned how he was able to get the connection to the house. I was just like, oh.
Yeah, she was like 23 and he was 17.
So they were.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I didn't
That's why I
And
was like,
who knows how long that was going on too.
Right.
So he could have been 16, 15. I mean,
yep.
yeah.
So it made me feel bad in that moment. I was like, did anyone catch that? Because I was like,
Yeah,
And-
it's like this girl
Yeah,
seems
and-
pretty much like she knows him so well. Like,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
she does. She
and which is
does.
interesting enough too. I think like continuing that scene, like when like he awakes and he's like about to get the shakes, and he has like two options to either wake up Genevieve or just what was it? Either wake her up or grab the bottle and stuff like that,
Mhm.
which is very interesting. It was kind of poetic in a way because he was like,
yeah,
it was kind of like, should I keep with my addiction or should I just
like
be
if the
with her
girl
in
is
the moment?
between the addiction and the bottle, like the
Right. And I was like, that's interesting that they put it that way. But ever since then, that's typically how the chapter went, even with like the 20 questions and stuff.
and the restroom scene where she gets the call from Lizette and she goes to the restroom and he stands by the door. There's just so many moments between them that like when he knows he has an idea of what's gonna happen. It was
Right.
great. I just stand by the door and she's like, why? And like whatever.
Mhm.
But like, can
Yeah.
I ask what was going on? Because was she cutting herself? Is that what was the case? Because
Yeah.
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 well, okay, because she's saying like there's a scratch under her arm, he said, like a red spot.
As long as she's not doing this and she's like,
Ew.
Mhm.
All he saw was the Band-Aid when she came out, that she had a Band-Aid on, which obviously meant that she cut herself.
Wait, can I just want to, before we go, I wanted to talk about two scenes and they're back to back. So they're like kind of related.
yeah.
The first one is when they meet with that director for the movie.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's what we were just
that was
talking
so sad.
about.
Like, oh, that's what we were just talking about?
No, I'm like
No.
the last
Oh,
video, like how we like. Are you talking about the director? That's
oh, yes.
Kendall
Yes.
Jenner should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what really sent me. I was like,
Yeah.
Kendall Jenner acting like,
He doesn't even know how to be Kendall
Insulted.
Jenner.
right. And the fact that she's like, I feel like so bad for her because she's under so much stress, I think, with Shane coming back in town and everything. And then she like wants to argue, but then was it Cece or who was it with her?
She was like, this is our
Really
last
not
date,
good.
producer, make it happen.
Oh yeah. She
really
was just
dumb
like,
to,
yeah. And so then she felt like she just had to be like, okay, that sounds great. But
Yeah.
I feel like it's partially because she's so like she didn't have the energy to
Yeah.
fight.
to fight that.
Yeah.
Right. Which yeah, so that's one thing. And then that's when she gets like the text, I think, about Audrey being suspended.
Mhm.
And I just thought that was funny. Like, because she got suspended because she posted a picture of a girl crying and it said that feeling when your mom's getting her back blown up by
Yeah.
your English.
Yo,
I was like, wow.
Yes.
Oh my
Like-
god.
Like
Listen-
Audrey is so fun. Like, wait, she's supposed to be like 12, right? Like,
Right.
But does she even know what back blown out? Right? She didn't even know what
Right.
that means. Like.
I mean, them New York kids, they know.
No, it was interesting because you imagine how many actual like writers' room or like offices where those scenarios like, oh, it's a good movie. It's actually based on African American or Asian or whatever other POC. And it's like, well, I think we should just put Chris, one of the Chris's as the male leader
Yeah.
and freaking, I don't know, name someone. And so,
right.
yeah, I don't know. It was just very interesting. I was like, literally what we talked about is that, can we just not have this one thing? Someone said, if it was like a werewolf in like Cambodia or Indonesia, like, would you guys still like, it's too niche. Someone's like, well, I would actually still watch that or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that fight after between Audrey and Eva was like really intense. And I guess I don't have a lot to say about it. It just was like intense and I felt really bad for Eva, knowing like what we know about her, like whatever her daughter said to her. I can't remember, but it was like
Oh, you're a robot. You don't actually live.
Yes.
yes. Yeah. And I like that like her I felt like I was offended for her. Like, I don't know.
Mhm.
I was
But-
too, because you're like, she tries so hard to just kind of to where she's
Mask.
at now, and so,
Yeah.
but her daughter, she doesn't know any better, right? Because hasn't told her a story.
Right. Yeah. She's hiding it.
And you know what? Maybe Charlie, going off that, maybe this is her opportunity to open up. If her daughter's saying, you're a robot, this is the time. Like, maybe it's time to slowly. You don't have to tell her everything, but like, if she's telling you
Yeah.
that, she's obviously paying attention. She's not stupid. She's over here knowing like when your back being blown. So she's very smart. She's witty. So I think mom just needs to like start communicating with her a little bit more.
I will say one comment. There's a trend on TikTok. It's connected to this. It's like, oh, when you say you're stupid, you're not talking to this girl, you're talking to this girl, and they show a picture of me, like for me, like young. And I think when her daughter says those things, it's almost like Genevieve is the one who's hurt.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't know. It was, that one hurt me too. I was like, oh, girl.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
That's a really good point. And also, I think if she were to tell, like in her mind, it's like she wants to hide it from Audrey because she's like she's made up all these like grand stories. So like she has someone to like look up to and like, be proud of. But like the thing is if she just told her the truth, Eva would be the one who's the feminist icon. Like Eva would be the one who her daughter's like, you're my hero, like.
Yeah, wow, I didn't even think of that.
Girl, yes, I thought the same thing. I was like, why are you telling her?
Because she's incredible what she's gone through. And I mean, to have however 14 books with the 15th supposedly on its way, like that's, and like a movie deal, like even with all the issues, like that's still incredible that she was able to do that. And I don't know, I think Audrey would like look up to her mom if she knew about all that.
I think she's smart enough to do that. Like, I think she's wise in a way.
Yeah. She's
love
giving
that.
other people advice.
Yeah, no, she's like literally psychiatrist. Like,
okay, I will finish with this and we can figure out like what chapters and whatever. But Eva, I love that she knows that she's a better writer than Shane though. I love that she's very like, but I'm a better writer. And I'm like, okay, girl, own it. Because as a woman of color too, and knowing his position, how she was gloating that like, he doesn't have to try hard and this and that. But she's like, no, but I know I'm a better writer. Even though you get the things really easily because you just don't care, I'm a better writer.
Yeah.
But, no, I like their banter. They have great banter.
Yes.
Banter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where do you want to read, guys?
Yeah.
We read to chapter what is it, like 30?
Is that
Whoa.
is that the whole book?
Is that
That's that.
Do we meet one last time and finish the book? Is that kind of what it is?
Guys,
there's only 26.
I say we read till first thing where it says Friday. So which is like so it's just this.
Well, I was saying like if it's only 26 chapters left.
No.
Wait, but we're on Wednesday.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
I say we read up until Friday. And then once we have our last meeting on like for Friday, and maybe we can have our next book selection then. Because I don't think Friday will be so like long.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means Friday it starts. So 219 is where everyone should be done. Do not read past 219 because that's when it starts Friday.
I think that there's different pages in different books, like the hardcover books and the like paperback are different. Because somebody, Salia, what do you have? Because I think
copy. I have the hard.
You do? Okay, okay, Meryl, what about you?
I have the hard.
Because somebody said a page and I went to the page and it wasn't the right page for me.
Oh,
so I was
probably
thinking
me. My Kindle is 222 as Friday starts. That's the page for Friday.
So can we all agree, just do not read when it starts on Friday?
Friday. Okay.
Friday.
Now leaves us with how many pages left?
Guys, Friday is the weekend. Are they about to get? I'm just kidding.
Is it?
There's still a lot more when it comes.
No,
it
actually,
goes-
no. There's not a lot more.
It definitely goes to Saturday.
Yeah.
There's 325 pages altogether. So that's 223. So like 100 pages.
Yeah.
This looks like pretty
So we just
easy.
have one more meeting, read till
So-
Friday, so everyone can also.
Alright.
But
Before we leave, can
Would
we
it be
please
best to
talk
read-
about, that's what I meant to say. This book is not written by a Black person.
There's no.
Not?
It's not?
No, if you have the hard copy, this is
Spanish.
the author.
I literally just saw
Oh,
that
white or
too.
black?
Is she? But I mean, it's black and white.
I think she's
mixed.
mixed.
pretty mixed.
Well, yeah, let's
There's
look
some
her
things
up.
that are being said, and I'm like, yeah, you know what?
You gotta. Well, all right.
Right. Okay, so guys, hold on. While looking at that, do you think it's best to stop at chapter 22? Because then we would only have 4 chapters left. Like, because I'm looking at this, like basically how thick everything is. So they're like even Steven with how long like it would be to read.
What is chapter 22? I was just gonna say, if you say
Chapter
chapter,
22 is
it's easier for people-
245. Page
245?
245. Yeah.
well, like I say, we stop on Friday because I think I also want to get the opinions of people that are also reading this book
Yeah.
on the next one, so we can all catch up together, and then we can
Okay.
all just shoot the ending
Yes.
and then come back for that meeting.
Yes.
That's
Let's
fine.
finish
Yeah.
off Friday and Saturday on its own, but let's just finish up and because I think we got to Wednesday. We're on Wednesday and Thursday right now, right?
Yeah, Wednesday and
Like-
Thursday.
This is her with, and it's like when it's not black and white. Okay, this is like,
Yeah.
oh, like see,
Oh, okay.
I think
okay.
the black and white and like her hair is kind of like, it just makes her look really white right there.
She
But
had a Brazilian blowout in that picture.
yeah.
And then yeah.
Oh my god, I'm loving that.
I thought I was about to say, this feels wrong then if she's
yeah,
white.
yeah,
I was like, hold on. Let's pose the question to her. How do you think it's to write from a Black woman's perspective?
yeah, that's
I knew.
I don't know. I just did it one day and it just happened. Like,
I just didn't even really think about it.
I didn't really think about it. I was drunk the whole time. That's awesome. Okay, so then when are we meeting? Can we make it a Tuesday since we're back on schedule and everyone's home and
Definitely a Tuesday.
2 weeks from now, that's 4th of July weekend, isn't it?
No, let's not do that weekend. Let's skip and do the 12th. And like, because that weekend, I think people are gonna be.
It's just
like,
it's just the 5th though. Like we'll be off that Monday. It's the 5th that we're thinking
but
about,
that
right?
weekend, I don't want to have to be catching. up.
That's too soon. Let's do it the 12th.
Or we can even do that like the 8th. But I
No,
really
because
like keeping it to the Tuesdays.
Isn't that Friday?
Yeah.
It's like-
I was like,
Either
Audrey,
way.
you want to take your Friday night?
My bad, my bad.
Yeah. I mean, okay, this because like the holiday of the July 4th, people might be like busy with family and stuff like that. Like having the stress to have to like keep up with the book. I'd rather people have enough time. So on a random weekend, weekday on July the 12th, I feel like is appropriate. So
I agree.
Is there any way, and y'all don't have to change it just for me, but I can't do the 12th. Is there any way you think we could do Thursday, the 14th,
I was even
or
saying
Wednesday, the 13th?
I was even gonna say like we can even make it like that Monday too, like since there's really nothing going on that weekend.
Not the Monday.
Not the Monday. Okay. So
Yeah,
Thursday.
Cindy, we're going to go to Miami the week of the 18th. Let's just not do anything that week.
Girl, that is not even the same
11th.
week. I'm talking about the 12th to the
We
14th.
could definitely do the 13th. I think that gives us time to, is that our next one?
Yeah.
Well, if we do 3 weeks, should we just finish the book?
That's what
I
was gonna say.
know.
If we're gonna do 3 weeks, we might as well finish the book and have the next book right, like next book options ready.
That's why I was like, if we do the weekend of the 4th, that's gonna give us enough time to read the like it's such a small like
Y'all
on
just want to
Friday.
move the book club to like a Wednesday. because we.
Well, people in the
Abby
chat were
said
already
she can't
saying
do
that.
Wednesdays.
Yeah, we're already
So
saying
do you
that they
want to
can
do
do
July 5th, if that's okay with everyone?
I don't see
July
that.
5th.
Be fine.
Um,
The 5th?
That's a Tuesday.
That
I
really
can do-
just gives everyone a week. Just know that.
No, it's
Oh, that gives us 2 weeks.
2 weeks. We have
Yeah, 2
all today, like the rest of today, all next week, and then the 5th.
we're not reading that much. Like it's not.
Yeah, we're
I feel
not.
like we normally
That's
read a lot
true.
more
Yeah.
That's
than
true.
what we're
That's-
gonna read.
We're really chopping it up because I finished like these chapters like between like Sunday and today.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
on 8 and I finished to the 14th today.
I didn't start reading till yesterday, and I finished.
See how quickly you finished?
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna get easier to read because it's gonna be more like I need to keep going. Like I need
Yeah.
to, like it's gonna get juicier.
So
And
what?
it also allows other people to catch up, the ones that weren't able to get to this meeting, to catch up on the rest
Yeah.
of the book.
So
Okay.
what's the date?
July 5th,
July 5th.
6th.
July
The
5th.
Is Jamie saying that she can't make it at all when we do 6, or what's the deal?
Oh, it's just because she works at till 5:30, but not on Tuesdays.
But not on
Tuesdays.
Tuesdays.
She
Okay,
doesn't-
so
yeah,
then
she doesn't work.
Tuesday at 6 p.m. people can still make it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the 5th of July, and we're reading up until
Friday.
chapter
Friday.
up until Friday. So is that? Do we just say
Also-
that?
Are we doing it back at 7?
6.
So we're doing it at 6 again?
Mhm.
It's set to 6 going forward.
Good.
If y'all ever want to go back to 7, just let us know because it's not like I'll still come. It's not gonna.
I know.
I think
I
it's just
just want-
because you get more of the night side of your day when we go earlier.
Yeah,
And so I don't know. That's what I was thinking.
No,
it is nicer because usually Nate's asleep by the time I get off, so it's because he goes to bed early. Or we both do, but so it is nice to like do 7 or 7 my time.
Gotcha.
That's what I figured. I was just like, I have a husband. I know I want to spend time with him before bed and whatnot. And so I was just like, if they're ending at 9, I was like, that sucks for them. So but
I think it-
we'll accommodate.
I think it was just like, I think that's the appropriate time. If we're all gonna be kind of like different coasts, 6 p.m. is enough time for us to get situated. If you come late, you come late.
Yeah.
And then we'll just go from
No,
there. I
yeah.
think the next meeting, July 5th, 6 p.m. Tuesday. That's good for you, Honor, right? You don't work Tuesdays?
No, I get off. I'll be fine.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right,
Do you
guys.
have Gatorade or something on right? You're making me nervous being sick.
Girl, like when I tell you, I have like stocked up on Gatorade water, protein shakes. and
Okay, good.
Like, I'll be good. Plus, my mom's a nurse, so that's what she
Oh,
just
okay.
check up on me.
Oh, I love
Okay.
that. Well, ladies and gents, I feel like this is a really
Hi,
good
Jeremy.
course. And I feel like this is a good discourse. We
Hey,
just talked about
Charlie.
a lot of the chapters.
Hey, how did you
Everyone-
see him? Like
I'm
Oh,
always
Jeremy?
yeah.
Oh
was
my-
he like just poking his head in? Like
Yeah,
I
he's
didn't
right
even
there.
notice.
But baby, you want to close it out? We're good.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do July 5th, and we're reading and up until Friday. So we stop at Friday.
2:19.
All right.
And is someone gonna text the group?
I was like, Charlie, do you want to send a text?
Oh yeah, I'll send it. Wait, let me make sure I got it. Listen, I sent the text last time and I still was confused thinking we were meeting yesterday, and I sent both the texts and I was like, oh my God, what is wrong with me? Okay, so our next meeting is July 5th.
Yep.
And we're reading till Friday.
Say 6 p.m. too.
Okay.
I wanted
7
to
p.m.
say,
Eastern time.
Yeah, I'm gonna specify that. Yeah, I'll do that because I think it's gonna get confusing.
And I want to say just one little quick thing for us, the New Mexico people. thank you guys for reading and keeping up and showing up, because I know it was like y'all had a really interesting, fun trip, but you guys were able to like catch up. So appreciate y'all for being here.
Yeah, no
Oh,
problem.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't miss it for the world. I missed the last meeting. I was like, I need to say something now. It's like, what the fuck?
I'm not gonna-
Guys, let's see if we get some sexualness in these next chapters.
Oh yeah, I think everyone's gonna be like, oh, I'm tuning in for the.
Literally.
Love it. Okay, I'm about to post you guys on the grams, but I'm gonna go study. Everyone, I'm excited. So excited.
All right, guys.
Really good.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Loves.
Feel better, Omre.
Feel better,
Thank
Andre.
you. I'll keep y'all updated.
Please do.